Oh, they ain't tell y'all? You tuning into the best morning show on the globe. It's Brad and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron and Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater and I'm scoring. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all paying Zippy, I'm Ken Griffey or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing, Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SP, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradham and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Brad in the morning. Marques, Brad, Justin, Emery.
Yo. It's Flag Day. It's Flag Day. I was going over some things to go about for today. So other than Flag Day, June 14th, not a lot has really happened. But I also realized that in the research of this, I have no idea what Flag Day actually is. And now I do.
Okay.
And we'll see if I remember it next year.
All right. There actually is a major event that happens today.
Oh, well, not according to the History Channel.
A big sports event happened today.
What is it?
June 4th, 1998. 23 years ago.
Oh, yes. I did. I did read this on the timeline earlier. Yes.
Jeffrey Jordan.
Crossover.
Step back. 6 rings.
I believe it was 9 years before the first cell phone. So everybody was in the moment.
Yes. No one was recording anything. I used to have that poster with the 6 it was 6 seconds, 6/10 when he let the shot go. I love looking in the background because it's like a painting because you see the balls in the air and everyone's face already knows what's about to happen, and you see just this dismay all over with every fan in the face. Every fan has a different expression, but all of it is of horror as they realize that there will be no championship again in Utah and no joy in Mudville.
Now, Jordan, more than any athlete in probably the history of sports, has benefited from playing in an era with no social media.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it would not have been. Well, I think he wouldn't have been saying anything about social media. Like, he was not the quote. He was a guy that tried to stay relatively quiet with his quotes. Like, Jordan has never had really many provocative quotes. I think his most provocative quote probably is, even Republicans buy sneakers. However, what would have killed Jordan in the social media area is the ability for everyone to have cameras to film him wherever he was going.
Yes, I agree. That's what it would be. It wouldn't be him saying something, a post or something. It would be somebody capturing on video something that he did that was wild.
And he's not known for being the nicest guy. So his interaction with fans and people there probably was a lot of instances where they weren't the best. So, I'm that aspect of it too, of people just having a camera and him having to constantly be for handling public, and then the gambling, and it wouldn't have been
good. No. Now, Friday after the show, I was hanging out. I was doing a couple of things, and I walked outside, and I realized that Friday afternoon was like the perfect weather.
Yes. It was a sneaky perfect day.
So let me ask you. Marcus buys an island, okay? Okay. Marcus has an island, and he's picturing his perfect weather. What is the perfect weather?
I want September 1995 weather. What I mean by that is, so September is so here's the deal. When you're in school and you have to go to especially elementary school, junior high, high school also. Summer's the favorite because it's no school. So summer's associated with the idea of I'm going to be able to do what I want to do. I can go hang out with my friends, play video games, play sports. This is great. However, as you get older, you realize summer ain't necessarily it weather-wise. Like the idea, I'm talking about peak summer. Like when we're talking like it's like super humid, like it's gross out, like 90 plus degrees. That's not exactly what you want. See, what you want is you want like the September 1995 weather. And why I say that is because of global warming and everything. September now really is actually another summer month at this point. Like really, you're still getting those high temperatures in September. So back in like 20 years, 15, 20 years ago, you had that nice 75 to 80 degree sunny days every day, September weather. So that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. I want the 75 to 80. We're still warm. It's like warm enough where I can do whatever I want to do. I want to wear shorts, I wear shorts. If I want to wear pants, I can still do that. Also, at night it's a little bit cooler. It's like 60 at night. That's what I'm looking for. Comfortable temperatures where I can bask in the sun and be happy I'm out in the sun. However, at nighttime it's not 90 degrees at all, and that's the weather I'm looking for.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. That answer was way more in depth than I anticipated on receiving for that question.
What do you mean? You're talking to me. Every answer you get from me is in depth.
I thought you were going to be like, yeah, I like it 75 and sunny. I thought so that was definitely a little more detailed than I. So now I have to match that equally detailed description. So, let's see. Now I like it a little bit warmer than you do. I think. I've said that, I've said that before. I like it a little bit hotter than the average person.
You look a little spicy.
Yeah, but not humid. I do not deal with humidity. Me and humidity, we don't see eye to eye. We don't agree on anything. He's not invited to the VIP section when I'm there. Me and humidity, we don't hang out.
Yeah, I
like. So in the scenario I gave you, where we're on an island, I'm not gonna lie to you, I want it toasty. I want it maybe like 95.
Okay.
Like I like my beach days to be scorching hot. I don't want like 80, 85. No, don't get me wrong. That's my perfect weather is like 82 and like a little breeze. That's like the perfect weather for me. But I like my beach days scorching hot. I want my days.
And you can also do that because you're surrounded by water, so the water cools things off anyway.
Yeah, like now I was looking at the weather in Vegas this week. Oof. It's the hot week there. There's always one week every month of the summer, June, July, August. That's like, all right, this is going to be the hot week this month. They're averaging 115 degrees this week.
Yeah, I'm out.
But here's the thing. At like night, say you go out at like 10 o'clock at night, probably be in the 70s.
That's a crazy drop.
See, what it is that the desert doesn't hold heat. So the second that sun goes away, the thermometer just plummets.
See, I enjoy that. I'm in on that.
Now, what really sucks are those random days where like it doesn't plummet and it's like 98 degrees at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's where I have a problem. See, I can do like even like you asked me my perfect weather, and that's what I describe. That's how I describe. That's how I want. However, I can do hot.
Yeah, I want like your ideal weather.
If it's 90 degrees at night, I am going to be a very upset person. I can't stand that.
So one time, I had a friend of mine. He now lives and he lives in Richmond now, but he used to work in the accounting department for the New York Yankees. He was like a suit in and he was a suit in their accounting department. You know, he worked directly with Brian Cashman, but he was like a numbers cruncher. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
we me and another friend of mine went and stayed at his place in New York. We hadn't really been to New York, and he was like, "Yeah, you know, I got to go to work all day, but you guys are, you know, free to gallivant around the city at your leisure." And then at night, you know, he's like, "We'll meet up with some people and we'll go out." So this is like mid to late June, New York City. So you know the humidity that's there.
Yes, it smells like sewer trash.
Yeah. So I had like a polo and jeans on. You know, I didn't know where we were going, but like I'm dressed up enough that I can go to like a decent place, but dressed down enough that we can also go to a sports bar depending on where we're going. I'm not sure where we're going, but that's what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
By the time we got off the bus, which was not a long ride, okay? We walked, the bus stop was on his corner. We got on the bus, got off the bus. By the time I got off the bus, it looked like I got out of a pool.
Oh no.
And this is like 8, 9 o'clock at night. What's that?
The bus wasn't air conditioned?
I mean, if you want to call it air conditioned.
Oh no.
So I remember standing in line, like waiting for the guy to check my ID. And I remember looking around, and none of us are comfortable. Like all of us are extremely hot and not enjoying ourselves. I remember turning to my one friend and being like, "Why are we here? Like why are we here?" I was like, "Let's just go back home." And that's literally exactly what me and him did. We just were like, you know what, like once we get into this place, it's going to be even hotter.
Right.
So, but yeah, and I think it was like 94 degrees at like 10 o'clock at night.
No, yeah, I don't want that. I don't want
with the New York City humidity.
Yeah, I don't know. No, thank you. I don't need that in my life. That's what I hate. I can't stand it when it's just like you get no break from it. That's why I'm a September man.
Well, you know what else you're not gonna get a break from? This NHL playoff coverage over here.
Wow.
We got game 1 tonight. Game 1. VGK
Guns.
Heavy favorites at home. They have the top seed. The games will be every game 1 will be in Vegas from here on out as long as they're still alive. So we got game 1 tonight. Heavy favorites. VGK. I think they're like minus like 240 or something. So they should get that dub. They're like minus 600 to win the series. I'm not betting on them to win the series because minus 600 is a whole lot of a line for me to have to swallow. But we got VGK game 1 tonight. Now, like I said, Canadians 8-0 in these playoffs. That was nothing to turn your nose at. But, you know, sometimes in hockey, time off is not your friend.
In a lot of sports, time off not your friend.
So that's
yes, I gotta tell you. So
and that wraps up that wraps up this great hockey coverage here.
last week, you just decided and declared you're gonna be jumping on the bandwagon of VGK, and that's where you're staying.
Now, question. Let me just ask you one question regarding what you just said.
Yeah.
Is it bandwagon if it's a total migration?
I mean, you jumped on the bandwagon to get to the town. That makes any sense? Like you're staying there permanently.
Yeah, I'm staying.
You had to get some transportation to get there, and the transportation you used was a bandwagon.
Okay, that's fair.
So I did a little bit more thinking about this.
Okay.
Now I'm not saying no to you going out in Vegas and cheering for the Knights. I'm saying I need more support in a decision.
Okay.
So Wednesday we're going to bring in a special guest, and he's going to decide your fate.
You're putting me in a really bad predicament right now.
I'm gonna lay out the scenario, and then I'm gonna let him see what he says.
See, but here's the deal: is that
I'm gonna make it look good. I'm not gonna slant it and make it look like I'm gonna say I'm conflicted. I'm gonna lay out. Listen, you know me to be fair. I'm gonna lay out both sides. I'm not gonna put you out here to make it look like you're doing something wrong because I don't know you're doing something wrong. This is again like the scenario I brought up with the relationship. This is unprecedented territory.
Now, let me ask you this question, just so I can get a little bit of a grasp of the scope of where your confusion might be.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this is purely hypothetical. Okay. This is not what's going to happen. It's just me wanting to get a scenario.
Okay.
If I did the same thing for the Orioles, would you have an issue with it? It would be under the same exact circumstances. Now, like I said, the Phillies are my team. I'm not saying I'm jumping ship, but the same exact parallels would have to be applied. The same logic that you gave me would also work in this scenario. So if I hypothetically rooted for the Orioles, would it also?
I agree with you, but you're not. But the thing is, you're not.
No, I'm
because here's the problem. You just laid it out there beautifully. Is that the Orioles are basically a minor league baseball team. So you leave to go to the Phillies and leaving to go to the Orioles. Well, I mean,
that's like staying in the minor leagues.
That's like deciding to leave a metropolitan city and go live in Baghdad. Like you're not like who does okay, if that's what you want to do. All right. It's weird, but okay, I'm not gonna fight.
That was a good example.
I mean, that's pretty much what you're doing. So this you're upgrading here. You're going to the hotel in the sky. So
yeah, what's the deluxe apartment in the sky? You know, I'm moving on up.
You're moving on up. So we gotta. That's why this deserves more of a conversation, because you're moving on up now. Right now, listen. As I said, I get all the grievances. The Flyers, I get it. Also, too, you do have ties of Vegas.
I was gonna say I feel like I have unique credentials as to where I need to.
But they're not long-term ties though. That's the thing too. That's another thing. It's short-term ties. Now you're going to be out there permanently at some point. However, the time you spent, does that justify this decision? It's a lot to unpack. That's what I need to bring someone else in on this.
Well, I do have to pose.
You're under review right now.
I do have to pose this to the board though.
Okay.
I have been to more VGK games in my life than Flyers games.
That's a good point in your favor. It is, and also too, you also cover the team. So there's a lot of here. Listen, I'm not going to say where I fall on this, but I'm going to say you do have a lot of evidence in your favor. You have a good case. But I have to put you under review.
All right, all you listeners out there. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to put a poll out to say if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Okay?
Yeah, man.
And if I win this poll, which I should rightfully win, I have an autographed VGK puck. I'll let you pick the player. I'll let you guys, the winner, pick from 3 different players, and I'll get you an autographed puck. But only if I win. If you guys make me lose this poll, I'm not giving anything out. I'm keeping it all for myself.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I have pictures of me with the guys signing it to authenticate it if I have to. So, let's win this poll. And, I really like our guest that will be here on Wednesday, and I hope that he votes for me so I can continue to like him. Because I don't want to have to not like him.
Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Like I said, I'm gonna make sure we're fair to you.
So the thing is, all I ask for is my fair chance, because I feel like the facts upon themselves will favor it.
Listen, at the end of the day, I'm going to lay out the case, and then you will have a chance to present your argument to our guest, and then we'll let him decide what he thinks.
Now, let me ask you this question. Now, I'm not the person who usually will bash a guest, but I do have to just bring this up. Is our guest truly qualified to make a judgment on me?
Okay, I'm listening.
Now, I don't know his exact status with the local hockey club. But I feel like this might not be his strong suit. Like he might not be the one qualified to be the judge. Now, I don't know that right now. I'd have to go back and I'd have to have my team look over and make sure there's no red flags.
Well, the nice thing about this is that the organization that he works for is not affiliated with the hockey team whatsoever. Actually, wait, they are, aren't they?
They are.
Oh, you're right, because they moved.
They moved.
Oh, man.
They did move, though. But what I'm saying is there are more people at that establishment more qualified than he.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, like, don't bring me one of the henchmen, bring me the boss.
So you think this should be a JM situation?
I think it should be.
I mean, that's. I don't think it's going to be favorable. I don't think. I think you don't want that. I know where he's going to lie on this.
I don't know.
I don't think that's good. I don't think you want to bring him into this. I think your best bet is our guest.
Well,
I don't think
just so you know this, if I lose, you already know where the appeals process is going to go.
That's fair. And you know what though? I mean, that's fair. And
if I win, you won't hear a peep out of me.
We can set up that paperwork.
Yeah, and if I win, you will not hear a peep. You won't. We all.
I mean, then I may appeal.
Can you do that? Does that work that way?
Yeah, you can appeal either way.
Oh, crap.
You always appeal.
Oh man, I'm sitting over here thinking I was going to just win. Oh.
I think he's opened up Pandora's box over there.
It's all right because I'll just have to stack the odds in my favor. Then I'll have to bring in all sorts of witnesses to back me up. I'll bring in Cowboys fans that like the Yankees.
Oh,
I'll be in here. I'll be all over the place.
Those aren't good character witnesses. Be treated as hostile witnesses.
Oh, that's like listening to LeVeon Bell on Andy Reid.
Yeah, what is? Yeah, wait, hold on a second. Let's. I actually just came upstairs to do the show, and that came across the scroll. What did he say?
He said he'd sooner retire than play for a team that was coached by Andy Reid again.
Did he give reasons why?
I basically it's just come. His basic point is that Andy Reid lied to him about how much playtime he'd get when he signed there. But my thing is that what did you look like? Like what did you like?
Women lie, numbers don't.
Pretty much. Like, do you really think that if he wasn't the best choice to play at running back, Andy Reid wouldn't play him?
Yeah, basically what happens is
they have Tyreek Hill. Do you think they'll definitely take LeVeon?
Right, you talk to him and you say, "Yeah, man, based on everything I've seen from you, yeah, this is what I want to. This is my vision. This is what I see." But then you get to the practice field and you're like, "Okay, this isn't going to work." Like Andy Reid is a great evaluator of talent, is he not? Like he kind of knows what he's talking about when it comes to regards to that, and especially on the offensive side of the ball. So why in the world? Like, of course he may say something to you, but I got to adapt to new information. If I say this to you and we have a conversation, and I'm like, I think you're going to be an asset to this, that, and the third, but then we go out there and you're not. What am I supposed to do at that point? And this is also the Kansas City Chiefs, who have probably the best offensive weapons in the league. So why would I not play them to play you? Because I promised you. What are we 7? You believe Santa Claus is still real too? Like, stop it! Come on, Le'Veon. Come on.
I mean, I don't really have much to add. You know what I mean? It's just
what are you doing? You sound like a child talking about he lied to me. Stop it. This is business.
Is there?
What are you talking about?
Is there a player that I don't want you to sit here and think. I want you to just give me a rapid fire answer if somebody comes to your mind. Okay. Is there a player that was on more than LeVeon? I say, he's the first one that comes to my mind right now. Is there a player more so that was on track to potentially make the Hall of Fame that just like I don't think he has a chance at the Hall of Fame now.
No,
and I'm not saying because of those comments. Like I think his career,
his career dip.
So
he overplayed. Like I don't think Le'Veon Bell understood the shelf life of the running back, and like he overplayed his hand in Pittsburgh. The whole
I thought there was a chance where LeVeon was definitely going to make the Hall of Fame. Like I thought we were watching him, and then he held out the year, and then the Jets were abysmal.
Yeah.
So, but is there a player that just boom that just pops in your head real quick, more so than him?
No, I can't think of anyone. I really can't right now, off the top of my head. But yeah, you're right. Like he had such a unique style that lent to longevity.
Mm-hmm. He never really took big hits. He got injured. He had injuries, but he never really took those hits.
Yeah, he's maybe the most patient running back I've ever seen.
And people don't realize he's huge. He's a big guy.
But like, yeah, he blew it. But it's his business. His business was the problem, And then he ends up like getting traded to the Jets, which was no man's land.
Did he get traded or did he sign there?
I'm sorry, yeah, signed there. And then that didn't go well. Then you get, you're the Chiefs, and you're not the same guy because it's been 3-4 years since you've been top flight back.
He wanted to be Lou Williams without being Lou Williams.
Yeah.
Because you remember that story about how he got robbed, right?
Lev. No.
So apparently he so this is his place. I think it's in Miami. He has a place, or Atlanta, somewhere. Wherever his house is, like his main residence is at. He was there, and apparently he has 2 live-in girlfriends that stay at his place.
Mm-hmm.
And he came home from, I don't know, some event or something, and they were gone. All their stuff was gone, and like $60,000 worth of jewelry was gone too.
Well, you lay with a.
Well, I remember reading the police report, and the police officer was like, "So who were they?" And he was like, "They were like name number 1." They're like, "What is that relation to you?" And he's like, "That's my girlfriend." And they read name number 2, and like, "What's that relation to you?" And he's like, "That's also my girlfriend."
And they're like, "What?"
I remember the police officer were probably just staring at him like, "All right, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here?"
Yeah, what's the plan here?
So, but yeah, that I mean, would you listen to LeVeon Bell, or would you listen to 25 plus years of Andy Reid, of everybody saying he's their favorite coach?
Right. Listen to Andy Reid.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's take a quick break. And on the other side, we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the show.
Sounds good.
What you want to talk about, what I want to talk about, what everybody wants to hear about. Your team, your town, your 76ers.
That's right. Brian in the morning, Marques Brown, Justin, we'll be right back.
Looking for authentic Mexican food close to home? Great news. District Taco has opened its newest location in Abington, Pennsylvania, and they'd love to fiesta with you. Offering Yucatecan fish tacos, burrito mojados smothered in delicious salsa, and crispy sweet churros, District Taco has it all. Try out the newest location or check out their website, districttaco.com, and come back for more. District Taco. Always fresh, always Mexican.
Hi, I'd like to talk to you guys today about my friends at Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream. USA Today selected Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream as the best ice cream parlor in Pennsylvania. Uncle Mike's is a family-owned and dedicated to the production of premium quality and gourmet ice cream and sorbet, made fresh daily on the premises using the highest quality ingredients available. Uncle Mike's features over 30 unique delicious flavors offered in scoops, sundaes, shakes, and special order ice cream cakes and pies. Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream is located at 537 York Road in Warminster and is open all year round. Visit Uncle Mike's and let their friendly staff serve you happiness one scoop at a time.
Justin Emery here to tell you about Beef Jerky Outlet in Langhorne. Sharon and Michael are the owners, and they have the best beef jerky around. You can never go wrong with the maple bacon, but my personal favorite is the honey barbecue turkey jerky. Turkey jerky? Yeah, I said it, turkey jerky. It's getting warmer out, which means grilling season. And what better way to top your meat than with Beef Jerky Outlet's very own sauces? Spicy chipotle, sriracha horseradish, and roasted pineapple habanero are just a few of your options to choose from. Located at 110 Lincoln Highway at the corner of Oxford Valley Road, or shipping nationwide on their website, beefjerkyoutlet.com/Langhorn. Use promo code BREMY for 10% off and say, yo, Justin sent you.
Hi, I'd like to talk to you guys about my friends at Amy's Pizza. Amy has a plethora of pizzas for your munching pleasure, especially pizzas such as Hawaiian, margarita, and taco. Taco actually being my personal favorite. And also plenty more. If it's sandwiches you desire, they've got those too. Cheesesteaks, burgers, hoagies, even gyros. Amy's offers pickup and takeout options. Also, they're available on Grubhub. Amy's located at 332 York Road in the heart of Hatboro. You can call them today at 215-957-1000. Again, that's 215-957-1000.
Every Friday, we're bringing you bits, but it's especially hilarious to me knowing what I've seen happen in McDonald's locations over the years. Hell, what I've done in McDonald's locations over the years. Hits.
Always winterize your pipes. I think that is such a funny...
And everything in between.
See,
it's the opposite. You don't see it, and he was totally about eating that baby. We are Twitty and the Bram. We're going to ruin something that you love. New episodes weekly on all your favorite podcast streamers.
Yeah, man. Welcome back. Brad in the morning. Marcus Brown, Justin Emery. We have a LeVeon Bell update.
Yeah, he put out another message that said, I said what I said, and I don't regret at all what I said. For those who have a personal problem with me because of what I said, that's fine. You have your right. Just understand I also have my right for how I feel about my personal problem with the dude because of what he said to me ahead of time.
Yeah, this is silly. Go away, LeVeon. I want to move on.
We also in the whatever you want to call that opening segment that we had this morning.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't address now a couple, what was it, maybe 2-3 weeks ago? Maybe not, maybe like a week or two ago, where I said I saw the scariest thing I've ever seen on a sports field.
Oh, man. Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, so that has since been overtaken by what happened in Denmark. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I saw the match or that I watched soccer.
Yeah.
But what?
Yeah, I was out with my sister-in-law and her boyfriend at a local establishment here up in the mountain. And yeah,
we have establishments up there on the mountain?
Bro, establishments. We found this little nook on the mountain. It's like these nice little side streets, an outdoor food truck with burgers, quesadillas, and burritos, outdoor drinking. Then right across the street, it's their actual bar. They're opening up a rooftop in July. It's gonna be a whole thing. I'm excited. My liver's not too excited, but I'm excited.
Oh, you're gonna be playing her in a couple of days.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But yeah, we were there and we were watching it live. I just happened to look up and saw the commotion because I'm not the world's biggest soccer guy, and I was like, it took me right back to being a kid and the Hank Gather story. When he collapsed, he played for Loyola Marymount, and he collapsed and ended up passing away. In the hospital, be collapsed on the court. Yeah, it's always scary when stuff like that happens, when stuff you can't explain. And they were able to stabilize him. I believe he died on the field, if I'm not mistaken. Like they were giving him CPR, but I think
they brought out a defibrillator.
What's that?
They brought out a defibrillator.
Yeah. So, but they were able to stabilize him at the hospital. So I believe he's doing okay now, but it's scary stuff. Scary stuff.
I
was saying this. I was talking about this to Amber. It's just I don't want to get on a whole soapbox, but now that we're here. But it just makes me upset that we don't get a chance to look at what's going on the inside of our body unless we complain about something going on inside of our body. I have to go to the doctor and say, yo, I think I have chest pains for them to go even think about looking at my heart or looking at what's going on in my body. We really don't know unless we feel something physically. but you have no idea what's going on there. I can't look down and see what's happening inside my body. You just don't know. And then these are athletes who are putting a lot of stress on their organs, especially their heart. So if they have a condition they didn't know about, like something like this could happen.
Yeah. I have no idea what like I know they said he had like a cardiac arrest, I think is what they said it went through. But I mean, you would assume that pro athletes that have the best medical staff, any team doctor is probably one of the top doctors in that city.
Yeah.
If you work for one of the pro sports teams in that city, you're probably one of the top doctors in that city. So I'm
Well, are you familiar at all with The Biggest Loser, the TV show?
I know, like I'm familiar with what it is, but I've never like seen it or anything.
So The Biggest Loser, for you guys don't know, is a weight loss show. It chronologizes like really obese people trying to get themselves back in shape and turn their lives around. There was a trainer on there. His name was Bob. Everybody loved Bob. Bob was like one of those people that's like obsessed with fitness. Are you feeling the Insanity DVDs like a Sean T?
Yeah.
So he's like Bob basically is like that show's Sean T. Like he is the guy that like was always in really, really good shape, whatever. I'm watching TV about a year ago and I see Bob on the TV doing a commercial and he's talking about how he had a heart attack and it scared the bejesus out of me. If Bob's getting heart attacks, I'm done. What is that for me? Like, what do I even do if Bob for The Biggest Loser is getting heart attacks? Like I can't have this. He's not supposed to get a heart attack. Like, heart attacks are supposed to be reserved for really fat people, not Bob. So, like, it is. But, like I'm joking. But in all seriousness, you just don't know. You don't know until you know what's going on inside your body. Because there's people who are overweight and obese who still are in generally good health. It's weird how that could work.
Mean, let me just give you the example. Look at any defensive lineman or offensive lineman in the NFL.
Yeah.
By no stretch would you classify those guys as, well, I hate to use the term in shape because they're definitely in shape, but would you call their body types healthy?
No. I mean, it's not 6'3", 340 is not good measurements.
Like you might be able to bench 500 pounds and run, a couple miles, because you're a pro athlete. But like, would you ever look at Vince Wilfork? Would you ever consider that a healthy body type?
No. But what's funny about people like that, these linemen and stuff like that, is that usually you notice, I'll say most of them, I'm not going to say all, but most of them end up losing a ton of weight after they retire. Yeah. Because like when you're in your 20s,
it's almost the thing is the weight might just almost naturally come off of them because they go from consuming 7, 8, 9,000 calories a day to 2,000 or 3,000.
Right, and when you're in your 20s and 30s, it's just easier to put that kind of a tax on your body. Like I was at my doctor's, going to check up the other week, and like I know for me because I'm not playing, I went the other way because I'm not playing sports as much. I've gained weight, and she said, "Listen, like you're fine now. Your vitals are fine. Your blood pressure's fine, but what is it going to look like when you're 50? What is it going to look like when you're 60? That's when you have to start worrying because it's not about now. It's about what the future's going to be." So like a lot of these guys end up dropping a lot of weight because like they have to because like that's 3 and 340 at
I think about Joe Thomas, the offensive lineman from the Cleveland Browns. Mm-hmm. He doesn't even look like the same person anymore. He went from like 310, 315 to like 190.
Wow. Like even he used to be on 215 Live, Brandon Noble. You look at pictures from his playing days when it looks like now, he's still a big dude, but he's like a everyday bigger dude.
He's still a pretty big guy.
Yeah, but not like we look at his playing day pictures as opposed to what he looks like now. You can tell he's dropped significant weight.
Now, friend of the show, who does not look like that? Tank.
Big Hollis. Yeah.
Um,
Hollis deserts first Thomas.
he so one time I was doing his show,
Mm-hmm.
and so he's a big man, obviously. You know, I mean, everybody like he goes by Tank. So his brother's even bigger than he is. Both both height,
I
both
can't.
height,
Even
both
fathom.
height and weight. He's bigger than he is.
Okay.
And I remember Hollis walked in one time. Dude's as big as the whole door frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He walks in, got his 10 pounds of cologne on that he always has. Like you always smell Hollis before you see him because he's got like $300 worth of cologne on every time you see him. But so he walks in the door. I'm talking to him, and then I had never met his brother before that. This dude, even bigger than Tank, walks in. He's like, "Oh, this is my brother. He's going to be on the show with me today." And I just was looking at him, and I was like, "Imagine being called Tank and being the runt of the family."
Right.
I mean, that's like Ryan Howard at 6'4" was the runt of his family. Like they said that all of his siblings were bigger than he was.
Yeah. It's insanity.
So, but from one injury to another injury, we had a big one yesterday that rocked the NBA.
Yes.
So
But hold on a second. Hold on a second. Stop. We're off the rails here.
we
We're
are.
4 minutes in, and we have not talked Sixers basketball.
That's because we're saving that for the end because I don't know how long that's going to take.
That's us. So we will get to that, but yeah,
Thing is,
I haven't heard anything.
there's a lot to unpack with the Sixers. There's 2 games we have to do with those. We have to unpack 2 games with those. So we're going to save that for the end because that could go off the rails a little bit.
I haven't heard anything new about the Kyrie Irving injury, but like, listen, if
He's
you played
in a walking boot and on crutches. That's all you need to know.
if you played sports and you played basketball, you could tell that didn't look good. And I gotta be honest, that was a dirty play. It was
The
dirty.
more and more I see it, the more and more I agree. In real time, I didn't think so.
You don't there's a couple no-nos in basketball. One no-no is when a guy goes up in the air and he jumps in the air, you don't go underneath him. Huge no-no. So what if you look at the clip of that? You look at the clip of that play. Antetokounmpo wasn't even in the screen when Kyrie went up for that layup. He wasn't even in the screen. He runs in and just stands. He wasn't even in a rebounding position. He was kind of just there.
Let me ask you this real quick, because the more and more I see the replay and everything, I agree with you that it's a dirty play.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think it was an intentionally dirty play, or do you think that, like we say all the time, that Giannis is a good athlete, not a good basketball player? So
okay, you're bringing new information to the conversation.
So do you think that a lot of people see Giannis as like the elite ultimate number 2, not truly a number 1. So do you think this is just lack of basketball IQ, or do you think it was I'm not take the dirty part of it? Doesn't take that away, but do you think that he was like, I'm going to slide up in here? Now, obviously, he didn't think Kyrie's going to come down on his ankle or on his foot and twist it. But do you think that he was like, I'm going to get under here and take away his space, or do you think he's just running under there and goes, I'm going to go under the basket? You know what I mean?
And this could, I mean, honestly, like like I said, you're bringing new information to the conversation. I didn't think about it in that way. Like, yeah, I don't think Giannis is a good basketball player. I think he's a very low basketball IQ. I think he's just an amazing athlete and has one of the greatest bodies I've ever seen in the history of sports.
Yeah.
And you combine those 2 things and you get this. And not knowing and understanding the nuances of game could be a reason why that happened yesterday. But do I think he premeditatedly was like, I'm going to hurt Kyrie Irving? No, I don't. However, it's still dirty, and he still should be punished for it. And
I would not be surprised if there's a retroactive flagrant.
Yes, and team wise, honestly, like someone needs to talk to him about that because you can't do that. And like that's how guys get really hurt. And you see it all the time where guys step on another guy's shoe, and then your foot goes one way, and that's the end of that.
I mean, didn't Embiid step on somebody's shoe the other day?
Yeah. When he the first time he tweaked his knee, which that was intentional. I'm sorry, unintentional. That was just two guys running down the court, and stuff happens.
Embiid also flails, and that makes that kind of hard. It's because Embiid's to him, he's in control.
Yeah,
but when you're that big and flailing around like that, you're not in control. It doesn't matter. Even if you think you are, you're not in control.
And Marcus Morris did the same thing last year to Luka, where his more looked like he was trying to intentionally hurt Luka. Was that
the same thing that happened to who was it against the Warriors?
No, where the rule is Bogut. It was Bogut, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, that's it.
Where Bogut literally stood in Kawhi went for a jump shot, and Andrew Bogut literally stood in Kawhi's landing space. And that's where that rule kind of changed about you just can't do that. But that's what's called basketball etiquette. And if you play the game, that's a huge no-no. Like at the park, that's a fight. Like if you do that to me, we're fighting. That's a fight. Like that's because you're trying to hurt me. And things happen all the time on a basketball court, and I have enough to worry about than you intentionally trying to do things to hurt me. Because at the end of the day, when I'm in the air like that, like you saw Kyrie was up there. He was up there. And when you're in the air like that, you're at the mercy of whatever's around you. So I remember who was it? This is gonna drive me crazy. Steve Kerr got really upset with someone. This happened, I think, 2 years ago. I think it was Vince Carter did this. And he was like, Vince, you should know better. Vince Carter undercut someone from the Warriors. I don't remember who it was. But literally the guy was in the air and Vince ran underneath them. The guys, it's one of the scariest things you see in basketball, where the guy's body goes completely sideways. And you're also 9-10 feet in the air. And he came down on his back. And thank God it wasn't a serious injury. But Steve Kerr gave Vince Carter a good tongue lash and said, "Yo, Vince, come on, bro. You should know better. You know you can't do that." And really got into it because it's one of those things and one of those etiquette rules where it's like the four-way stop at a stop sign. It's not written in the manual how it's supposed to go, but everyone kind of knows that you go first. That's how it is. This is how I don't think it's in the manual. But you have those unwritten rules of life, and in basketball, it's an unwritten rule. Like you don't stand in someone's landing space. And again, I don't believe Giannis did this I don't believe it was on purpose. I don't believe he did this to purposely injure him. But again, Giannis doesn't know the game. He doesn't really know. He doesn't really know what he's doing. Like for instance, let's look at Giannis's free throw for a second. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. So if you're really Giannis going into yesterday was shooting 32% from the line. So if you are already bad at something, why would you want to think about it more? Giannis takes about 17 seconds to shoot a free throw.
I mean, he routinely gets punished.
I've never how many times in your lifetime before Giannis Antetokounmpo have you seen a guy get penalized for taking over 10 seconds to shoot a free throw?
So I've never seen it before, and I've seen it happen to him 3 times in the last month.
Yeah.
And I've never seen it happen before.
There was one time that he didn't get called for where you see James Harden on the sideline, counting, and all of a sudden he just back and floats his arms up. Can you believe this?
So who does Caron Butler coach for? I think he might be on the Clippers staff.
Okay.
There's a video of him literally counting down the seconds of Giannis's foul shot.
Mm-hmm.
And just absolutely going ballistic on the sidelines, to the referee once he gets to 10.
Yeah. It's become a major.
Are you looking up who Caron Butler coaches for?
I am.
All right, cool.
It's a major talking point in the NBA.
But so just to real quick put a bow on this, so we can actually get into Sixers basketball.
Yes.
No Kyrie, no Harden. It's a different series, 2-2 going back to Brooklyn. Milwaukee's actually favored in Brooklyn, so that tells you all you need to know about whether or not Vegas thinks that he's.
Miami Heat.
Oh, he's on the Heat?
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, but like there's a video of him going absolutely ballistic to a referee to the point that he gets the call. He actually got the call.
It's egregiously long. Like it's like he does the thing with the hands. Then
You know
he gets
what it reminds me of?
him. Then he brushes his teeth. Like it's too much.
It reminds me of the old Charles Barkley golf swing.
The hitch, yeah.
Now he's since changed his golf swing. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of normal now.
Yeah.
But I mean, like there was nothing like that.
Right.
Like I'd almost rather take Ben Simmons foul shooting over Giannis.
Yeah, at least it's quick. Giannis is a miserable death. Like Giannis is getting killed by the cartel, where Ben is getting killed by the mafia. It's put a bullet in the back of your head.
Yeah,
the cartel's gonna have some fun with you first. Like, why can Giannis? Like, you're sitting there. Can you imagine me a Bucks fan? It's like the last couple seconds of the game, you're down 1 and Giannis at the line. You have to wait for like 45 seconds to see yourself die anyway. It's horrible.
So I have a lot of opinions that I formed watching these last 2 games of the Milwaukee Bucks fans, and I don't think any of them are appropriate for the show. But
Okay.
I just say that I have some very, very strong opinions of the Milwaukee Bucks fan base.
All right.
And like I'll just give you a little example of what I mean. I think I need to know where a lot of them were in early January.
Well, that's been the perception. There's a couple places in the NBA that you get that kind of chatter from. Boston's one of those places, and Utah is one of those places. Utah has been notorious for that type of chitter chatter.
I mean, you know what? I texted you about the coach.
Yes.
Like I have very, very strong opinions on that man. Like he looks like he does like
some red hats.
He looks like he does a lot of cocaine.
Yeah,
like a lot.
Because he always looks sweaty.
Like a lot. Like he looks like the guy who's like, I'm assuming he's probably in his late 50s, early 60s. He definitely dyes his hair because it's not that dark naturally. But he's the guy that's like wearing like a polo that's like 2 sizes too small, walking around like a club at in LA or Miami or something, trying to leave with one of the bartenders that's like young enough to be his daughter.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna run away from the descriptions.
Like I need to definitely know where he was. Like, was he on the East Coast or was he in Utah? I need to know.
Yeah.
But that's the vibe I got from Milwaukee fans. Like, so I have some very strong opinions of that.
So we got a team that is entered the Western Conference Finals. Phoenix Suns wrapped up last night. MVP Jokic gets thrown out in the third quarter.
Do you think he should have gotten thrown out?
No. Listen, was it a bad foul? Yeah. However, this is an elimination game. Like, I'm gonna have to need you to pull Cameron Payne's eye out of the socket for you to throw out of the game in an elimination game, like in the playoffs. I'd be very careful with throwing out the best player on the other team. Like, I would be very careful. I would if I'm the referee, I let the NBA handle that. I give them the harshest flagrant, and then if the NBA wants to do something, fine, they do that. You do that. But I'm not. If I was a referee, I'm not doing that. If you want to spin it for next game in the NBA office in Secaucus, go ahead and you do that. You take that heat. I'm not taking that heat here, especially in Denver. Like, that's
the MVP.
That's an insane thing to do if you think about it. It's an insane risk. This guy gave.
I think it's paired with the foul, paired with the Booker confrontation.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, Booker's sticking up for his guy.
I mean, the thing is this is the NBA. Nobody's fighting. Nobody fights in the NBA.
NBA fights and then when they do, they're really bad. There's never really been a good NBA fight.
Like the last NBA fight was Ben Simmons choking out Cat.
Yeah. And he wasn't even supposed to be in the fight.
No. Like that just the NBA players don't fight.
I don't know how they got there.
Like I remember Lonzo Ball one time. Like the whole team was like shoving, and he just like walked down the other side of the court.
Yeah, you're like, this is stupid. I'm out.
And they asked him, they're like, "Well, why weren't you down there with your team?" And he's like, "This is the NBA. Players don't fight in the NBA."
Yeah, and like really all sport, like hockey, yes, to get it in hockey.
Football.
But you think of every other sport, the fights aren't good. And football's the dumbest to fight in because like
you got all that gear.
You're wearing a helmet. I'm not punching somebody with a helmet on. What?
Yeah, no. And I mean, and baseball fights are just a joke.
They're even sillier than the rest. I will say my favorite. I have it in my head right now. It's making me laugh. Is when Pedro Martinez took Don Zimmer by the head and threw him to the ground.
See, that's a good one. You know what else is a good one?
Repeat every day.
Another good one is when Yasiel Puig tried to fight everyone.
Yes. Or when Jose Batista got jaw jacked.
Yeah.
Got jaw rocked.
Have you ever seen there's a minor league one, you have to go look it up on YouTube, where the guy went to the plate clearly knowing that he was just going to fight. Like, he wasn't even trying to hit the ball. He was going up there knowing he was going to fight the other team.
Yeah.
So I believe they threw inside to him. He literally just kicks the catcher right in the chest. Like with his his back leg, just squares up, kicks the catcher in the chest, throws the bat at the third baseman, and then runs out and squares up with the pitcher. Like this dude he went up to the plate knowing it was going to be a scrap.
A definition of
that, like he knocked down 2 or 3 of the other team's guys before he finally got taken out. But like, there's that picture of Yasiel Puig though of when he's with Cincinnati, and I believe it's against Pittsburgh. Of the whole Pittsburgh team is there, and he's like being held back and just ready to fight the whole team. And I was like, this man was ready to fight the whole city of Pittsburgh. He was ready to fight the whole city of Pittsburgh. But yeah, no, baseball fights are, well, just like the rest of the sport, a joke.
Yeah, we'll get into that another time.
No, we won't. I hope not.
Listen,
I hope not. I don't want to.
Yeah. So I woke up this morning feeling really, really strange, and like, I'll get into that feeling. I'll get into that feeling in a minute. But I want to go backwards before I get back to that thought. But I just want to throw that stream of consciousness out there. But I woke up this morning feeling really weird. So Friday night, everything it was interesting. Everything of how I wanted to go, it went exactly that way. They started out, they get down 4-0. The crowd's really into it. They're amped up. You can tell they're ready to explode. The ATL chants. And what does Joel Embiid do? He goes and dunks the basketball. Quiet. Very next play, Tobias Harris gets the ball, drives it down the lane. Quiet. And from that moment on, it was a completely different crowd. And that's what I mean and what I was talking about how you don't want to shoot jump shots early in games like that. You want to take the ball to the rim. And the Sixers, listen, if we were to be honest, the first 10 minutes, they looked a little skitterish. I mean, it looked like the ball had like oil in it or something like that, the way they were
both teams played sloppy in the first quarter.
Yeah. And you can afford to do that more at home than you can on the road. But the Sixers looked a little skitterish in the beginning of that game. I think that Embiid dunk calmed them down a little bit, and then Tobias scores, and then they're back to business. And what you're really seeing now, and I'll put it this way. What I am beginning to accept is that I cannot control what the bench is going to be. Because the way Doc is going to do this is he's just going to, at some point in the game, look down there and just go by a feel. Who do I feel like is going to be a guy that's going to produce right now? I'm going to go with you. Like, Doc basically is playing Mario Kart when it comes to the bench. So he looks down the bench and, like, listen, if this was a bet, it's no way in the world none of us would have picked that Furkan Korkmaz would be the first one off the bench. No one picked that. When I saw him in the game, I was like, what is happening? But you know what? He produced. He gives you 3 threes in the first quarter, gives them some space, gives you 14 overall, and he played well. And this is kind of what we're going to have to accept as Sixers fans, that Doc is with this bench is just going to be figuring out as he goes along. He's going to be looking down there, you get up and go. Like that's pretty much what's going to happen here. And we're just going to have to accept that. And guess what? You know what? If it works, it's not traditional. It's not how I am accustomed to watching playoff basketball. But you know what? If it works, it works. And right now it's working. And that was a huge moment in that game right in that first quarter. And the Sixers just, throughout the entire night, they were never out of control. And it's just so interesting. And this is why I hate the national media. This is why I can't stand them. Because the majority of them have no idea what they're talking about. And not because they're not knowledgeable. Not because they don't know the game. It's because they're making so much money, they're not watching the game. A lot of these fools picked the Hawks to win this series based off of no more information than what they saw in that Knicks series. Trying to compare that the Sixers were the same team the Knicks were, and they had the same deficiencies as the Knicks did. When anyone who watches basketball and anyone who watches this team knows the Hawks were the perfect matchup for the Sixers because of everything that's playing out in this series. The Sixers' size, the Sixers' length, the Sixers' ability to cover, recover, and switch. That's what's really been the problem. And by the way, we have our defensive player of the year who is capable of shutting down their main source of offense, Trae Young. Trae Young looked miserable that entire game. And to be honest with you, he's looked miserable this entire series. All that swagger, all that.
I'm about to make a point that's going to blow your mind, but is also at the same time absolutely true.
Okay.
Trae Young scored 28 points in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Meaningless.
Yeah, ineffective 28.
Absolutely. When have you heard a player score 28 points and was irrelevant?
Right, because what the thing is, what
28 points, still down by 20.
What I've always said about Trae Young, and who Trae Young is Trae Young he's a momentum scorer. He's a guy that scores in bunches when he's in rhythm, and he also is a guy that gets other people alive. He's not a great shooter. Here's the deal. I want Trae Young to shoot the basketball. I want him to shoot the basketball. Because if he's shooting the basketball, that means Bojan Bogdanovic is not shooting the basketball. It means Herter's not shooting the basketball. It means Collins isn't shooting the basketball. It means all of these other guys aren't getting those open shots. It means Gallinari's not shooting the basketball. Williams not shooting the basketball. All these other guys are not getting the shots that they need to help this team. He's not a great shooter. When Trae Young shoots from 30 feet, it doesn't frighten me. It frightens me about
if he wants to take 12 to 15 threes, that's fine because he's only going to hit 3 or 4 of them.
Right. If he's in a rhythm, then no, I don't want him taking those shots. But the Sixers allowed him to get in a rhythm based on that first half of game 1. After that, they have purposely done things to make sure he does not get into a rhythm. And they've done a great job of keeping him out of rhythm. And you can see it. You see it in his face. He knows. He knows what it is. That's why, honestly, after game 1, you didn't hear much from him. He hasn't been talking. All of this, oh my gosh, Trae Young, Reggie 2.0. He's talking so much. Oh my gosh, he has so much confidence and swagger. Where is all of that? Where is it? It's not here because you know good and well your team is not good enough to beat this team. It never was. And you knew that the first half of game 1 was a fluke. And you're shown and proven that. You're sitting on the sideline miserable. You're miserable on the sidelines.
I mean, think about this. For the last 10 quarters, Atlanta has been non-competitive.
Yeah. And once again, you know, they did score over 100. But once again, if you think about it,
but they
again,
they scored over 100 with like 3 minutes left of a game that they were down by 20. It doesn't matter. Didn't
matter. It didn't matter. And the Sixers are making their lives miserable. They're making them miserable. And this, like I said, I went in this series knowing, just like I went in the Wizards series, that the Hawks better than Wizards, absolutely. But I knew the Sixers were a better team. And that was going to prevail. And it did. They looked great. Ben Simmons had a great game, an amazing third quarter where they really blew it open. But he had a great game. Embiid doing Embiid things. Tobias Harris has been the difference maker that I thought he was going to be this playoffs. It's all gravy. There's nothing from Friday night you can complain about. Now, do you have anything else on Friday?
I mean, just the Danny Green injury,
Yes.
He's going to be down 2 to 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you a question about who would be the guy you bring off the bench? Would you bring
to start?
To start, yes. Like, who's replacing him in the starting lineup? Do you go Korkmaz or do you go Thibault?
So, if you look at the numbers, Korkmaz actually as a starter has been pretty good. Like he's had I think this season alone as a starter, he's averaging 16 or 17 a game. Now, if it was anything but this series, I go Korkmaz. However, I think this is T's time. I think Thibault is your starter because he gives you because let's be honest, Danny Green hasn't shot the ball well this series. So if Thibault doesn't give you a lot of offense, you're not really changing anything. So, and you don't need that offense to beat this team. If this was Brooklyn, I'm starting Korkmaz. But the fact this is Atlanta with all these shooters, I want to have another defensive guy on the floor. Danny Green isn't the defender he was with the Spurs, but he still was a pretty damn good defender. And so I'm bringing in another guy, another really good defender to help me out with these shooters. Because I want, like, when it comes to this team, the Hawks, I want to be physical with them. I want to take their heart. I want to do it immediately. And I don't want to be finesse about it.
I could not disagree with you more.
Okay.
I am starting Korkmaz because I do not want it is imperative for this particular team at the Atlanta Hawks that when they're playing them, that you stagger Simmons and Thibault as much as you can when Trae Young is on the court. Because you don't want both of them on the court for too long at the same time. Like, I really thought it was solid when they were bringing in Matisse Thybulle at like the 5-6 minute mark of the first quarter and putting him on Trae Young, who's now a little tired after running around for a few minutes. And then a fully rested Thybulle comes in and plays on him. And then you have Ben switch to somebody else and play help defense on him when necessary. I don't want both of them expending energy at the same time at the start of the game. I think staggering them is important. And, I mean, you're really choosing between offense and defense, really, when you're choosing between those two. Like, if you go with Korkmaz, you're going with the offense. If you're going with Thibault, you're going with the defense. So it really just picks what you want to do. But I think that we see what happens when we stop Trae Young. The whole team crumbles around it. I mean, it just is what it is. When he's not there, I'm sure, when the Joker's not there, they fall apart. But I mean, Atlanta really, really falls apart when Trae Young's not playing well. And I think that I think the Sixers win it big. I think it might be a blowout tonight. I think it could be a bigger blowout than it was the other night. But even if the Sixers were to hypothetically lose this game, I don't think they will. It doesn't change my thoughts on the series. So why give them any sort of breathing room? Just do what has been working well for games 2 and 3, and that is bringing Thibault off the bench to play Trae Young.
And listen, like, you make a great point, and I agree with a lot of things you said.
I just want to stomp them. I just want to choke them out. Leave no doubt. You know what I mean?
I worry about Korkmaz defensively, for the sense of, the thing with Korkmaz is it's the same thing I've said about JJ Redick over the years. And when they're not hitting shots, they're basically useless.
Well, here's what you do: you just have a quick leash on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then you really mess up the rotation. If Korkmaz doesn't give you those minutes that you get from your starter, then you're really in a pickle. And that's what I worry about in a game like this, where he's not hitting shots, and also on the other end, you're asking him to guard Bogdanovich or someone that caliber. I don't like that. That makes me nervous with this series a little. But honestly,
I'm willing to roll the dice on that because, like I said, you know who's going to. It would be a bigger issue if you were like, okay, if Korkmaz falls apart in the first 5 minutes, what am I going to do? Well, you have the answer on your bench. The answer is Thibault. He would be your guy. So you have the short leash on him. If you don't like what you see in the first 3 to 5 minutes, boom, Thibault's in.
I bet Doc's gonna do something weird, like start like Isaiah Joe. Like Doc's out there playing Mario Kart. You're starting.
He is totally playing Mario Kart. He's playing Mario Kart on the highest difficulty against 5-year-olds.
As long as I don't see Mike Scott out there, I'll be fine. Anything but Mike Scott. I don't need to see him out there.
We both know what happens when you see the hive. The game's over.
Yeah. So
I had one person mention that they thought George Hill should be a starter, and George Hill played so bad in that game that, I mean, I get everybody's plays a bad game, but he really hasn't been playing good the entire series, and I don't want to
most of the playoffs really.
Yeah, Daryl Morey's a whole lot smarter than I am, and their basketball guys down at the Sixers facility, the scouts and everything down in Camden, they're much smarter than I am at basketball. So I don't want to say that they're clueless, but every game that passes, George Hill looks less and less like a good piece to add.
And, listen, and we got. I mean, I agree with you, and we got a lot of playoffs left, and hope you get all we need for this trade to be something that's good for us. We need one big shot out of George, one big shot moment out of George, and I'm good with it. I don't need a game. I don't need 3 games. I need one shot out of you. Give me one big time shot, and all is well with the world. Yeah. Look at Matt Stairs. Matt Stairs had one swing, and he's loved this town forever.
Yeah,
beat Matt Stairs. Hit one big shot. We're good with you. But I opened.
We got 10 wins left. 6 down, 10 to go.
I opened this segment saying I did not feel. I woke up feeling strange today. I want to expand on that now. First of all, I'm going to tell you.
And it's not from what you drank yesterday.
No, okay. I do not like the extra day. I hate the extra day. It feels like this game. Yeah. I feel like the Sixers played a month ago. Like that's how long ago it feels with that extra day.
And I don't have any explanation for it.
No, I don't understand the extra day because you're in the same town. So theoretically, they should have played last night, and then Wednesday played back in Philly. I don't know why. And now it's weird because now they're playing tonight and they're playing Wednesday in Philly. I don't like that because if I feel like it's been a month ago, I look at this from Atlanta Hawks perspective, and for them, it's been a month ago. They've been sleeping in their beds. They're comfortable. A lot of things that happen on Friday right now, like they say all the time about athletes, you got to have a short-term memory. And so for them, this is like a year ago Friday. So it's almost like Friday didn't happen. That's how I feel.
I hope nobody was fielding calls from Lou Williams over the weekend.
Listen, I don't want no one taking calls from Quavo, Offset, Takeoff, Young Thug, Jermaine Dupri. No calls from any of these people. The Brat, Lil Bow Wow, who's been on a bender with Ray J for a week. They were in New York City with Diddy. They didn't back. I think it started in Atlanta. They were in New York. They went to Miami. And I think back to Atlanta. No, none of these people you're taking calls from. None of that. But like that. But honestly, we're joking. But it's something you got to worry about because.
What it comes down what it is that so this upcoming Sunday, which would be I guess the 20th, the 20th, is every second round series is slated to have their game 7 on Sunday if necessary. So you have your game 7 on Sunday, you back it up 2 days, game on Friday, back it up 2 days, game on Wednesday. So they had an extra day to play with. Now, I don't agree with putting it, Friday to Monday, but where would you have swapped it then? Would you have had the game yesterday and 2 days today? Would you have 2 days between games 5 and 6? Would you have 2 days between games 6 and 7? Like
I go Sunday. I go Friday, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
Wednesday. Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again.
So I go Friday, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. That's the move. Because now so now you've had, because the Tuesday of last week between game 2 into the Friday of game 3, that was okay because you have I get that you have the travel day.
Yeah.
But
well, like I just like the reason. I mean, I don't disagree with you. I don't like the day either. But it's just when you're looking at the calendar, like I get the travel day, and then you're in Atlanta for 2 days or for 2 games. You know what I mean? They don't want to put the extra travel day in. I mean, this is just me. I'm thinking out loud for the league. They have an extra day somewhere to use. They had to use one extra day somewhere, wherever they use it at. But why would you, if you're on, because it's 5 in Philly, 6 in Atlanta, 7 in Philly. So it's boom, 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 1, 1, 1. My only thing would be is that they wanted to cut down on the extra days of them being on the move so much. So they only threw the extra day in there because it was between games in the same city. Because think about it. If you had the game on, say you had the game yesterday, okay? Sunday, you'd have Monday off, and then you'd have it Tuesday. You'd have the game Tuesday, but then you'd have Wednesday and Thursday off for one game on Friday, and then fly back Saturday, and game 7 would be on Sunday. So the only reason really why they did it is because it was 2 games within the same city, and they just had an extra day to use it. Now, with the people that make the NBA schedule, you would assume that they make enough money to factor in that they don't need the day at all and could just get rid of the day in its entirety. But with the way that they decided to do it and make every single game 7 on Sunday, they kind of got themselves in a bind.
And you're probably not even going to have any game 7s. And also,
I don't know.
Maybe Utah, LA.
I'm thinking Brooklyn and Milwaukee.
No, that's not going to be a game 7. Brooklyn's going to get. You're going to see Kevin Durant's going to go a 50-piece nugget, game 5, and then that's be over game 6.
So you think
Harden will probably be back for game 6.
So you still think this is Nets in 6?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I just don't respect Milwaukee that much. I hate watching them play basketball. I hate it.
I don't either.
Revolved around Giannis.
So then what do you make of this then? That in Brooklyn, Milwaukee's favored to win? Because
it's the mentality you have to, because right now Milwaukee looks like the stronger team, but the Slim Reaper got something for him.
I disagree. I think that the game's going because wow.
Harden's back game 6.
Listen, we might have
tomorrow.
When's game 5 is tomorrow?
Game 5 is tomorrow.
Okay, well, we don't have a show tomorrow, but you and I will talk.
Yeah.
And we will report back to the people on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I might have to take you up on an intra-show bet on that.
This is hard. I'm telling you right now, Kevin Durant is gonna play out of his mind.
I don't disagree with that, but
he's gonna carry him by himself.
But that would require them to then go win a game in Milwaukee, which they haven't been able to show they can do yet.
Harden back. You get Harden back in game 6.
Yeah, but how long is he going to last for?
I don't know. I mean, that's not. I mean, hopefully the entire game.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but like
Nash said he's getting closer and closer each day. He'll be back in the series. I think it'll be game 6. They close it down. I mean, Milwaukee. I mean, listen, Milwaukee should have got blown out yesterday, and like they didn't play well in game 3 either. They haven't looked good in any of these games. But the only reason why things went off the rails yesterday It's because of the Irving injury. When a guy of that caliber gets injured mid-game, it changed the momentum of the game. Brooklyn was up double digits twice in that game in the first half. They're not better than Milwaukee. This is actually what this series has shown me is how far apart Milwaukee is in the top 3 conversation. Brooklyn's a better team than them.
I agree, but the better team doesn't always win.
Right, but in a series they typically do.
Yes. We're gonna have to. You and I are gonna have a conversation tomorrow before the game and figure out what this wager is going to be because I want to take you up on that. I think. Right. So you're saying Brooklyn in 6?
Brooklyn in 6.
So let me ask you this: in order for me to win,
okay,
do I have to be correct with my assessment, or do I get the field?
I'll give you the field.
You'll give me the field.
Yeah.
So you'll give me either Milwaukee in 6 or 7 or Brooklyn in 6 or 7. Or I mean Brooklyn in 7.
Yeah, it has to be Brooklyn in 7 or
Milwaukee at all.
Yes.
You're willing to give me that?
Yeah.
All right, folks, you heard that here. This is episode 82, and it took us 82 episodes for us to make our first wager.
Okay.
All
right. So that being said, I don't like this rest in between. I don't like it. Me personally, if I'm feeling this has been forever ago, I can only imagine how the players feel.
Yeah,
I'm a huge momentum guy when it comes to sports, and like now because these national idiots, they've now flip flopped, and now they're all Sixered up. Now all the Sixers are all this stuff. So now the Hawks are back in the position of, hey, you know what? We got nothing to lose. No one thinks we're gonna win anyway.
Don't you think the extra rest is good for Embiid though?
No, not with that meniscus. Because the thing is, with an injury like that, I want him as active as possible. Like I hope they had him on the bike the past couple days, get that knee. Because what happens, the thing is about that injury, as everyone's seeing, is that it's not about what's going on the court. It's what happens off the court. What's the swelling like? How is his knee responding to all of that activity? And when you're inactive, especially with a knee, you get stiffness, you get the soreness. That's when the swelling creeps in. So no, I don't want the extra rest. I want him, like I hope yesterday they had him on the bike. They had him doing some light activities. They had him mobile, moving around. But I don't need it.
I hope they have him in the pool.
Yeah, the pool will be a good exercise too. I don't need him like watching Netflix. I don't need him watching binging Queen of the South right now. I need him being active.
Luckily, he's in Atlanta, so he doesn't have his PlayStation.
You're right. Right. He needs to be active. Like get nothing too strenuous, but a good workout to get a sweat going, get your body warm, get that knee active. Like that's what needs to happen. So
what does it say about the athlete and the Embiid, the person, the athlete, that we're not like, man, I hope he's not out, at the club or anything. We're like, man, we hope he's not watching Netflix and playing PlayStation.
Right. Yeah. And a couple years ago, it would have been the club.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, I don't want him doing those two active. I mean, yeah, if you want to ride the bike and watch some Netflix, be my guest. But I need you active. I need you sweating. I need you keeping that kney warm and keeping it active. So then
I'm guessing you don't want that series to go so long between, because I think the Sixers are going to wrap it up in 5. If I'm being honest with you, I think the Sixers in 5.
That's the hope.
Yeah, because if they win tonight, which I think they will, there's no way they're going to lose again to Atlanta at home.
Right.
So I think it's going to be Sixers in 5. But so you don't want all those extra rest days in case of those 7 games.
Absolutely not. No.
I'm on the other end of that spectrum.
I want him active. I want him moving. I want him active. No, I need him moving.
And I wonder if I would be I wonder if I'd have a different opinion if I trusted and respected the Sixers medical staff.
Well, I mean, this is one of those things where all you need to tell him is kind of what, the treatment for this is simple. You ice it. We're not active on it. And, you try to wrap it and all that stuff like that. It's very basic stuff to keep this thing okay for now. This is not like literally I could handle this with Embiid. Like this isn't a complicated medical issue. It's actually a very common thing with athletes to have meniscus damage in their knees. So this is not something that they can't handle. Because basically all it is like, yo, Joe, I'm gonna need you to give me an hour on the bike tonight. You know, like it's very basic things. Like, yo, Joe, make sure you're icing this thing after the bike, ice for half an hour. I want you icing 3 times a day. It's very, very easy stuff to maintain. However, it's him doing all of those things and making sure he's putting all the work in, which I don't doubt that he's not. I just don't I just don't need the extra rest.
So I put a fat bet in at the start of the playoffs for the Sixers to win the East.
Mm-hmm.
And for there was a little bit there where I felt like I wasn't gonna win.
Yeah.
I'm feeling real good again.
Yes.
Feeling
real
good again.
If you're looking around, it's you're looking at kind of last team standing. Now listen, I don't know where you stand on this, but I'm one of those people. I like to beat people with full strength. I don't want any excuses for why we beat you. I want to see Kyrie healthy, healthy. I want Durant healthy. I want you all healthy. I want all of you healthy, and then I want to beat you. But I don't think I'm gonna get my wish.
Okay. I do not share that sentiment.
Mm.
And allow me to explain why. Okay. Why would you willingly? Now, I understand wanting to beat the best at their best for how it feels. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if you have the chance to take an easier path, why would you not do it? The Larry O'Brien isn't any less shiny if Kyrie doesn't play. The Larry O'Brien is not any less shiny if Harden doesn't play. So why would you not take I mean, like, obviously I'm not saying the Sixers have control over that or anything, but why are you like, I never understood the mindset of I want to beat them at their own strength. Why?
That's what sports is about to me. I want you at your peak. I don't want any asterisks. I don't want you saying, yeah, but he was hurt and he was hurt. No, I want all of you guys there, all of you there lined up single file so we can beat you. That's why I want and I've been looking forward to this series all year because I believe the Sixers are a better team. And I want to prove that. I want to prove them to be a better team. And I look at it like when it comes to this matchup, like I said, it's something I've been looking forward to. I want to see it. I want to see how it plays out. I'm looking forward to these games, these matchups. I don't think it'll be easy by any means, but I still want to have the opportunity to see it. And the Sixers have already done the work to put themselves in position to have the easiest road. They did that by securing the number 1 seed in the East. They did that. That's why we got to play the Wizards and the Hawks, because we did everything we needed to do in the regular season. The regular season mattered to us. Didn't matter to Brooklyn. Now they're paying the consequences because they had to see Milwaukee before the conference finals. So I want them as healthy as possible so we can smack them down and stand on top of the mountain with the championship. That's what I want to see.
Now, to me, winning is what sports is about. Injuries are a part of the game. And being able to stay healthy or being the healthiest team at the right time is part of sports. So, I mean, I'll take Brooklyn in any form that they like. I'm not worried about them at full strength. All 3 of them are there. I'm still taking the Sixers. I like those odds. I might be the minority in that situation, but I still like their odds. But I don't feel bad for Brooklyn. I'm not like, oh man, this doesn't, in my mind, this doesn't diminish anything. Like, there's no asterisk.
No, I'm not saying that either. It doesn't diminish it for me. But if you ask me my preference, I want them at full strength. Brooklyn, listen. You watch what's happening
you don't wish injury
right now.
You don't wish injury on any player.
No.
But I'd be cool if Durant didn't play against him either.
If you watch what's happening in Brooklyn right now, everything that's going on with them, with all of these, Harden with his hamstring, Kyrie gets hurt again, all the turmoil they had going into the playoffs with Kyrie and his personal issues, Durant missing half the season, they are paying for their sins of what they've done of trying to assemble this team. Because everything they're doing, assembling this team, is going in sports. So they're being punished right now.
I agree.
They're being punished for all this. I didn't wish it on them. I don't wish any of this on them. But this is their athletic karma.
I agree. I agree entirely. It's what happens when you tempt the basketball gods with saying that the regular season doesn't matter.
Well, this is deeper. This is the sports gods now. See, this is a sport. This is a sports thing. Sports gods have got involved. The basketball gods had to throw their hands up and say, "Listen, you're at the mercy of the whole sports gods now. Everyone's watching you. The whole council, sports council."
I don't know if that's a good place to be.
It's not a good place to be. But bringing it back to the Sixers. So tonight, I'm gonna be honest, man. I wish, and I feel bad because they played so well Friday. I don't feel good about this at all. And I think again, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I feel now displaced from the series from the extra day. And as silly as that sounds, that's just how I feel. And I don't have a great feeling for this game. I really don't. I hope I'm wrong, but because even at the end of the day, and you said it earlier, even if they lose tonight, they're going to win this series. So I'm still not. Even if they lose tonight, I'm not worried. They're going to win Game 5 Wednesday, and they'll win Game 6 Friday. It's not going 7 games. They'll win both those games. Not a problem. This game concerns me a little bit. It does, and I got to be honest about that. That I am concerned about tonight.
So I have been right about the last 2 games. I was very wrong about Game 1. I think most of us were.
Yeah.
But I have been right. I've been spot on with both of my predictions for the last 2 games. So I'm going to just assume I'm going to pat myself on the back and continue to be right.
Okay.
So I think that this is – so I said they were going to win Game 2 by double digits. I said they would win Game 3 by 12 or more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going 15-plus tonight. I think it's a romping. I think this game is over halfway through the third quarter.
I hope you're right. I hope I hope you're right. I do.
This could be a now. However, I want to put a caveat on that number. If the score is so high that Embiid doesn't have to play the fourth quarter, I reserve the right that Atlanta may cut that under 15.
Yeah, fair enough.
But this is going,
it's like I've said about Atlanta not really scoring over 100 points past 2 games.
Yeah, like I foresee them. Like the one thing that you can say about the Sixers is that when they taste and they smell the blood in the water, they usually attack. And I think that they taste it now and they smell it and they know.
I hope you are 1,000% right, my friend.
You know, I think that this is let's wrap this up. Let's get this over in 5. Yeah. We don't want to get back on a plane until Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, and you're playing Brooklyn, so you won't get any airplane.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Like that. It's
Kevin Durant tomorrow night will have a 50-piece nugget,
but that might not matter. Is what I'm saying.
Sweet and sour sauce.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Blake's can give him 18-20.
Well,
Blake is putting his nuts on somebody's head tomorrow night. 2011 style.
Jeez.
Brown Milton's receding forehead.
Listen, he's got the second most memorable forehead in sports behind Peyton Manning.
Yes. Yes.
like Peyton Manning, that's will forever be his crown. Like he is.
You see Blake almost embarrass Brooke Lopez? Blake cranked. I think it was yesterday. He cranked back. He had a flashback. he's had a couple flashbacks in the series of vintage Blake Griffin.
Yeah. Something I also want to get to on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen Trevor Lawrence's high school picture?
No.
Wow. So on Wednesday, I want to get into some of the most embarrassing pro athletes' high school pictures. Trevor Lawrence is up there.
All right.
He is up there. He looks like. You remember? Do you ever watch the Drew Carey show?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ryan Stiles. You remember Ryan Stiles?
Ryan Stiles. Yeah.
He
Of
looks
course.
like Ryan Stiles and Kramer. I
Oswald. It was Oswald, and who was Ryan Stiles on the show?
think he just played Ryan. He
Oswald
played
and
himself.
no, he wasn't. His name was Ryan on the show.
I think he was. I think him and Drew both played themselves.
No, that was not his name. I know for a fact. It was Oswald and something. It's not Ryan. I don't remember that. No, it's not. It's okay. So Drew, Kate, Mimi, Oswald, Mr. Wick.
I'm looking it up. Just
who is
talk
this?
Talk for a second while I look it up.
Who is this? Is driving me crazy. Mr. Wick, Oswald. It's not coming to me. Mimi, Drew. I know someone listens right now screaming at the top of their lungs to name.
Oh yeah, the amount of things that they have called us.
There's certain person out there, red face with a vein popping out, screaming about the character.
Oh yeah, it is Lewis.
Lewis, there it is.
So, but Trevor Lawrence as a kid looks like a combination of Ryan Stiles and Kramer.
Okay,
which is not necessarily looking good for him.
That's not good. All right, well, listen, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, but hopefully Sixers gonna win tonight.
They will. I'm telling you.
Follow me at Marques tweeting everywhere.
At Justin Emery Show on the Bluebird app. I will be making my return soon.
Brad Emery Pod everywhere. Brad Emery Show. Get them that nice merch. 10% off code Bremy. Brief shirt the outlet.
Don't forget live show June 23rd.
9 days, baby.
Yes.
11 to 1.
11 to 1.
Wednesday, special guest 11:30 a.m. for a ruling on Justin.
I will present my case, and let's just say I will win, and I will give my best Law and Order.
Love it. Until next time, you can be with us, you can be against us, but you're never going to stop us. Late.